Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. My humble obeisances to you all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you all for joining His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj's daily class. Today we are very fortunate to have Maharaj on the call. And today we are continuing the Srimad Bhagavatam series of first canto, 15th chapter, verse number 5. Hare Krishna Maharaj, my humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. I'm going to share my screen again. You can take over, Maharaj. One second. Yes, Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Arjuna Uvacha. Manchitoham Maharaja. Karinam Bhatayukinam. Nainamai Parikam Tejo. Deva Vishma Pranam Mahat. Arjuna said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, you treated me exactly like an intimate friend has left me alone. Thus my astounding power, which astonished even the demigods, is no longer with me. In the Bhagavad Gita, in 10:41, the Lord says, anyone specifically powerful and opulent in wealth, strength, beauty, knowledge, and all that is materially desirable is to be considered but a byproduct of an insignificant portion of my complete whole in my energy. No one, therefore, can be independently powerful in any measure without being endowed by the Lord. When the Lord descends to the earth along with his eternal, ever-liberated associates, he not only displays the divine energy possessed by himself, but he also empowers his associate devotees with the required energy to execute his mission of incarnation. It is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita 4:5 that the Lord and his eternal associates descend to the earth many times, but the Lord remembers all the different roles of incarnations where the associates, by the supreme will, forget them. Similarly, the Lord takes away with him all his associates when he disappears from the earth. The power and the energy which was bestowed upon Arjuna was required for fulfillment of the mission of the Lord. But when the mission was fulfilled, the emergency powers was withdrawn from Arjuna because the astounding powers of Arjuna, which were astounding even to the denizens of heaven, were no longer required, and they were not meant for going back home, back to Godhead. The endowment of powers and withdrawals of power by the Lord are possible even for a great devotee like Arjuna, even the demigods in heaven. And what to speak of ordinary living beings who are but pigs compared to such great souls. The lesson is therefore that no one should be puffed up by his powers borrowed from the Lord. The sane man should rather feel obliged to the Lord for such benedictions and must utilize such power for the service of the Lord. Such power can be withdrawn at any time by the Lord. The best use of such power and opulence is to engage them in the service of the Lord. And the Jam Tingadamgasya Vinadana Savatana Taksi Inutamyana Tasmai Sri Guruvena Maha Sri Chaitanya Mano Viskam Stapikamya Nabutam Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Vidati Sranakam Ma'am Vishnu Padaya Krishna Padaya Visara Yumakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tiranam Space Gauravani Picharine Near Vishesha Suni Vari Tatyakti Jai Shri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasudeva Dev, Dr. Vindam, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So everyone has some power to some degree, and power is given to the living entities accordingly. And that power is coming from the source of power. We being part and parcel, just like the light as part and parcel of the powerhouse. So the light gets its illumination power from the powerhouse. Similarly, the living entity is getting power from the Lord, because the Lord is the source of all power. Krishna mentions that in the Bhagavad Gita. As you approach me, I will reward you accordingly. So Krishna is giving power to each and every living entity according to what the living entity desires and also what they are required to carry out their life in the world. But that power comes through the external energy, the Maya Shakti. That power comes by way of one's efforts in this material world, so they become granted with that power. It's not that the effort becomes the source of receiving the power, but the effort requires one or empowers one, or you might say, allows one to receive power from the Lord himself. But the Lord is the source of all, as it says here in 1044, all glorious, mighty, splendor, powers within it's just a tiny, and he says, an insignificant part of my splendor. So God is so powerful, and his power is manifested throughout existence. And power manifests in different forms. But the conditioned soul takes for granted that they have earned the power and have achieved the power, or think that they are the source of the power. And therefore, that power sometimes becomes the source of their misery or their suffering, because they use the power in order to further their material desires. And many times that power turns into something else. And as it mentions here, because Krishna is the source, he also has the power to withdraw it at any time from anyone. There is a story where one lady, she was quite expert at doing things, and she was teaching other people how to perform various tasks. She was able to multitask, and she was very expert at doing what she was teaching also. But she was a little intolerant of the students that she was teaching, in the sense that they couldn't, a lot of times, become accomplished in what she was trying to teach them. And she would somehow belittle them for not being able to come up to the standard that she expected. And she would openly criticize them. This went on for some time, and then at one point, she got very sick. And even the littlest things that she was normally could do, she couldn't do. So obviously the Lord wanted to teach her that she became proud of her power, and she was demeaning others who could not accept her teachings to do things in a certain way. In other words, they weren't good students, or they were inept, although they tried. So what happened? She got sick. And then even the smallest and the littlest things that she would criticize others for not accomplishing, she couldn't do herself. So it was a message that you're so proud, and at the same time you're belittling others for not having the ability to do things. Now, here's your situation. So because of her pride and because of her belittling of others, she at one point couldn't do anything. She required everybody's help for anything to do. So this is an example, as Prabhupada says here, at any time that power can be withdrawn. You know, you could be in good health and be able to accomplish so many things. And then all of a sudden your health changes and you can't do nothing and you require others to help you. So the point is, one should, as Prabhupada makes the point here, one should be grateful to receive the mercy of the Lord in different ways. When Prahlad Maharaj was able to withstand the torments and the teasings and the attempts to kill him by his father got quite amazed to see that this 5-year boy had such power. And he said to Prahlad, "Where do you get your power from?" And Prahlad rightfully responded, "I get my power from the same place you get your power, from the same place that everyone gets their power, the source of all power, Vishnu." Of course, Hiranyakashipu didn't want to hear that the person who he had made his enemy was also the source of his power. And so he became angry and made further attempts to kill his son. But then at one time, that all of that power that Hiranyakashipu had accumulated by austerity was already wiped away in 1 minute by the appearance of the Lord Nrsingadev. So here Arjuna is feeling the same. And Prabhupada makes the point, he was very powerful. He would astound the demigods. And now, when he was coming, before he met Yudhisthira, he was guarding some cowherd girls. No, he was guarding some queens, Krishna's queens, and he was moving them from one place to another. But some cowherd men, who were renegades, they attacked, and he could not properly defend. For normally, that would have been very easy for him. It would have been nothing. But now, Krishna had withdrawn his power. Because here it says that he's on his way back to Godhead. As Krishna left the world, he's bringing back, and this chapter is called, "The Pandavas Retire Timely." And now you'll see how they now wind up their affairs on the earth and now prepare themselves for going back home, back to Godhead. So if we get proud of our situation, then Krishna changes everything around, and that pride becomes smashed, and things start to fall apart in our life. So one should never be proud of whatever accomplishments that one may seemingly think that they have achieved. That's why when a devotee gets some glorification, he always passes it on to the other devotees or to his spiritual master or to Srila Prabhupada. Because he rightly knows that whatever I can do is simply the mercy of the Lord. And we should always remember that, because this is a very important part of Krishna consciousness, that the devotee accepts the grace of the Lord in achieving anything that they set out to achieve. And they honor the Lord, they honor the spiritual master, they honor the assembly of devotees, they give credit like that, because they know, and this is clear, it's not some statement of humility, it's actually a fact that we can't do anything. We can't even tie our shoes if Krishna doesn't want. But he allows us to have certain things so we can carry on our life. And if we want to make even greater attempts to achieve greater sources of opulences or power, if it's in line with Krishna consciousness, it's the Lord who's doing the empowerment. The Yadu dynasty was so powerful, and there were millions and millions of family members and demigods who had made up the Yadu dynasty. But Krishna was concerned that now he's about planning to leave the planet. And so he sees that if he leaves the Yadu dynasty on the earth, it'll be a big burden upon the earth, because they are very powerful, and they're also somewhat proud because they are family members of Krishna, many of them. So Krishna, through his 8 energies, arranged for them to fight amongst themselves and then destroy themselves so they could actually, again, achieve their position back in the heavenly realm, or in their position in other places in the higher planets. So that was Krishna's arrangement. And so a devotee wants to do wonderful things on behalf of Krishna. Prabhupada said, do something wonderful to spread Krishna consciousness. Take a risk for Krishna. And then see how Krishna empowers you. Because, and there's one devotee in our movement, he is so absorbed in this particular mood that he likes to do things that are very difficult to do to spread Krishna consciousness. And he makes it his focus to do things like that. And he's able to achieve some amazing results because of that. Because he knows, and also Srila Prabhupada said that about himself, I know behind everything, the hand of Krishna is there. Like that. So we might use a little cliche, a little aphorism, which says, you have to act like it depends on you, and you have to know it doesn't. So this is how a devotee thinks, and he acts that way. And if there's some success in his accomplishments or his efforts, then he gives credit to the Lord. And if he fails and falls short, he blames himself, she blames himself for not properly executing the activities. So a devotee is always humble. And that humility is the feature of bhakti that attracts the attention to the Lord. But humility doesn't relegate one to inaction. If one is relegated to inaction in the name of humility, that is not humility, that's another form of false pride. Therefore, one should use whatever Krishna has given us to serve the Lord, and if we can, to serve in such a way that we can benefit others in our execution of Krishna consciousness. So just like we see in the material world. People get to this point of calling, they say, low self-esteem. They feel bad about themselves and they berate themselves, and they actually fall into a state of lamentation, feeling so inadequate. But that's another form of false ego, because the soul is part and parcel of Krishna. And therefore, the soul, when it's empowered by Krishna through the body that it's inhabiting, can do amazing things. But because people don't take shelter of Krishna, and because people don't worship Krishna, they think my success is my success and my loss, my failure is just simply due to not understanding how to do things. And so and therefore they fall into this state of lamentation based on thinking I am inadequate. But no one's inadequate unless they relegate themselves to that position by their own mental ideas, mental arrangements. So a devotee wants to do something wonderful for Krishna. Look, Arjuna was empowered so much that by his fighting, he was able to practically annihilate the whole core of our army, which was, in one sense, even more powerful than Arjuna. They were fighters like Duryodhana, fighters like Dronacharya, what to speak of Bhishma Dev, Kripacharya, so many Asvatthama, so many powerful warriors that they were Maharathis. And but Arjuna, because he was empowered by Krishna, was able to conquer over these great personalities. But now he's lamenting the loss of the Lord. And he's explaining, now whatever power he gave me, he also withdrew. So it's a very important verse. It's a very important lesson to learn here. The devotees should always feel grateful for whatever they can do on behalf of the Lord, or even grateful for even the material things that they have achieved. They're also the empowerment of the Lord also through his material energy. Okay, so we can open it up.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for the class. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, if you have any questions or comments or realizations, you can please go ahead now. And please turn on your cameras if possible. It would be nice to take you all your darshan. Thank you. Yeah, Maharaj, while others are thinking, so I wanted to ask how to be, we know that, we can realize that we are very little in power when compared to Krishna, and powers are given by Krishna, but we don't remember it all the time, right? So how to constantly remember that and practically apply in our lives?
Well, just execute your duty and know that behind everything is the mercy of the Lord. That's all.
Mm.
That's all you have to do, is remember that I'm small. The word jiva refers to the soul. If the jiva becomes connected with Krishna, then the jiva can do wonderful things. So we try to remember Krishna as much as possible. And in remembering Krishna, we also remember that he is giving us the mercy we need to carry out our activities. Like, forgetfulness is one of the features in this age of Kali. As Kali continues to expand his influence, smriti, which is called memory, is one of the 8 items that become lessened and gradually destroyed in the age of Kali. People can't remember even what they did from one moment to another sometimes. Well, that is a feature of the age of Kali. But if you remember Krishna, then you can remember everything you need to do to serve Krishna and to live in this world. So that one remembering of Krishna, makes everything easy or natural. And Krishna reminds you, oh, you want to do this. Oh, you were supposed to do this. Oh, you're thinking your intelligence is giving you that, but Krishna works through your intelligence. Intelligence is not alive. It becomes alive in connection to the soul's presence within the body, and it's a feature of the soul's discriminating power. But behind that is the source, which is Krishna himself. So he works, and I use the word, works through your intelligence to inspire you in the activities you perform. But if we don't practice remembering Krishna, then we may forget even the smallest things.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Yeah.
It's the source of memory.
Thank you, Maharaj. Silpesh Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. I think you just answered a lot about the question I was going to ask you, but at times I am so grateful that Krishna is in my life, and I know how much he's done for me, how much he's empowered me. But at times my mind can bewilder me so much. It's very, very hard to remember Krishna. And like the mind just takes over, and it will just like say, and it will make up stories of doom and gloom. And yes, at times I think Krishna does. He sends devotees actually for us.
Prabhuji, you are cutting off. Your voice is not.
Sorry, Maharaj. I just want to say, maybe you could speak more about that, how to work with our minds, so we don't forget Krishna.
Turn to Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 11th chapter. It's the last verse in the chapter, number 17. 5:11:17.
Yes. Shall I go to the translation?
Purohara charano Hasananastro Jahiva Vikam Swaya Atmamosham. The uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy of the living entity. If one neglects it or gives it a chance, it will grow more and more powerful and will become victorious. Although it is not factual, it's just a covering over the real stuff. It is very strong. It covers the constitutional position of the soul. O king, Jedbarite speaking to King Rahugana, please try to conquer this mind by the weapon of service to the lotus feet of the spiritual master and to the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Do this with great care. And that last line is very important. Watch your mind. There is one easy weapon with which the mind can be conquered: neglect. The mind is always telling us to do this or that. Therefore, we should be very experts in disobeying the mind's orders. Gradually, the mind should be trained to obey the orders of the soul. It's not that one should obey the orders of the mind. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that to control the mind, one should beat it with shoes many times just after awakening. And again, before going to sleep. In this way, one can control the mind. This is the instructions of all Shastras. If one does not do so, one is doomed to follow the dictations of the mind. Although bona fide process is able to divide strictly by the orders of the spiritual master and engage in a large service, then the mind will be automatically controlled. Okay. If one abides by the order of the spiritual master, by the grace of Krishna, he is freed from service to the mind. And learn how to neglect your mind when it comes up with all of these things of gloom and doom and zoom and toom, boom and yoom. The mind will go to hell, or the mind can go to heaven. It can go. The mind can traverse throughout the three worlds and come back with so many extra things. So the mind is, it says, very difficult to control, but one should practice them. And when these thoughts come into the mind, then here Baba says, there's one easy weapon. He doesn't say weapon, he says easy, by which the mind can be conquered. Neglect. The mind is always telling us to do this or that. Therefore, we should be very expert in disobeying the mind's order. Well, we like our mind, so we think that's me. And so when these thoughts come in, we play around. But if you're feeling overwhelmed by these thoughts, then immediately connect with someone and speak about it, or immediately pick up your beads and just start chanting. If you do that regularly, then these thoughts will become less and less, and at one point they'll be gone. But if you don't, as it says, if you don't take care of these thoughts when they appear, if you don't neglect the mind will grow very powerful. So due to our conditioned nature, our mind is in that state. So if you feel your mind is very powerful, that's due to your past experiences in this world. The failure to control the mind at that point. And now you have to work to purify that mind.
Hope that helps, Selpesh Papa.
Yes, thank you, Maharaj. Very, very helpful. I'll
read that verse over and over again.
I would. Maharaj, are you back in Vrindavan now?
I just left Pune. Now I just arrived in Delhi. And I'll leave Delhi on Friday for Vrindavan. I'm giving class in Vrindavan on the 14th morning. That's IST, Indian Standard Time. And at the Goshala in Vrindavan. And the class is Govardhan Puja. That is Govardhan Puja on that 14th. Anyone who wants to connect will be right there in the cow shed giving class to the cows. The cows will be giving class to us.
Sridevi Mataji, you have a question. Please go ahead.
Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Guru Maharaj, as devotees try to serve the Lord and try to fulfill his desires, especially for the spreading of Krishna consciousness, how can we guard against becoming overconfident or being daredevils and taking foolish risks?
There seems like there's two aspects to your question. We can't seem to sort it out. We don't want to take risks, or we become proud when we do take risks.
Basically, to be wise, taking risk is very good for Krishna, but how to do it wisely, not becoming like, yeah, Krishna will arrange, Krishna will do it. I'm just an instrument. So doing things, in a sort of foolish and overconfident manner without planning and thinking it through and doing it wisely. How we can guard against that tendency to say, oh, Krishna will arrange everything. I'm just going to do, go out there and try to do something.
Well, in theory, that's right. But in taking a risk for Krishna, Srila Prabhupada responded to Tamal Krishna Goswami by saying one should not jeopardize your Krishna consciousness by taking a risk for Krishna. You have to know, so no one's going to tell you. You have to know your own limits. So take a risk, but if you see it's bringing you down in your spiritual life, then obviously that risk was not done the right way. And if you're just nonchalant, as you seem to have defined the mood of the mentality that I'll just do it and Krishna will give to himself, I think you should connect with your spiritual master or someone who's on the same level of your spiritual master and get guidance in forming these activities. Otherwise, we may be just wasting our time.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. That answers beautifully. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Raj Prabhu, please go ahead.
Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, sometimes we accept services that we feel are beyond our ability or we're not qualified to do. How do we get the empowerment to do that nicely?
Repeat that again.
Yes, sometimes we'll take on a service that we feel that we're not qualified or properly capable of, but because we've been asked to do it, then we accept. But how do we get the empowerment to actually do that nicely, properly?
Just pray to Krishna. Pray to Krishna for the ability to carry out the service. Pray to your spiritual master, that's even better. Pray to, you can pray to Lord Chaitanya. So many deities we can pray to, but the main prayer is to the spiritual master. Like someone came up to me today and said, I'm giving the Bhagavatam class. Give me your blessings so I can give a good class. I said, all you have to do is remember Prabhupada. And by remembering Prabhupada, everything will become natural and easy. In the class, all the information, all the knowledge you know will become available. Because you're trying to serve the Lord. And if you're depending on, you're trying to serve the devotees, if you're depending on the Lord, no doubt He's going to help you. If you depend on Him. But we usually pray for the spiritual master's mercy. That's more readily available. Krishna's mercy is not always so readily available.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Prayer.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you. Any devotees, any more questions? Yes, Mataji, Tirthakirti Mataji.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Please
No.
accept my humble obedience. And oh God, Maharaj, please help me to get over my that I can be fully attached again and fully in your service. And please help me to
Hare Krishna.
seva. Please help me.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama. Thank you so much. And thank you for that lovely lecture. I hope I can take a lot out of it and go further again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. We pray for you.
Thank you.
The devotees, any more questions or comments?
We're here in Delhi. The schools are closing. The air pollution index is over 500. Everybody in Delhi is getting a sore throat. I came from the airport to where I am staying, which was about a 40-minute drive, and my throat was completely irritated when I got here. The whole atmosphere is full of pollution, and the pollution is done by the farmers who burn their crops after the crops are harvested. They burn the ground, and that throws all the smoke into the air. So now it's so bad, everyone is getting an irritated throat, coughing, itchy eyes. Schools are closed. Welcome to the material world. Our so-called advancement in civilization is destroying everybody's health. Mental health, physical health, spiritual health. So bad. And I just saw a headline in the newspaper today that Bombay is catching up to Delhi in pollution also.
Very scary, Maharaj, to hear all this. We pray for the Lord to keep you safe.
I'm drinking some turmeric water, hot turmeric water, just to clear my throat. My throat was fine when I get out of the airport until I got to where I was going. It became just 40 minutes driving in the car with the windows closed and the air conditioning on. Still, particles, these pollution particles are so small that they actually, even if people wear masks, it goes right through the mask because they're so small. So the whole city of Delhi is like, people are out there, they're doing their work, but schools are closed, other places are closed because so bad. So that's why we keep making this point that this Western lifestyle, which is now being fully adopted in India, is destroying everyone, physically, mentally, economically. That's why we're pushing this idea of Srila Prabhupada's idea, get these farms together. Live simply, grow your own food, don't depend on what Western technology for your source of livelihood. I think even those of you who are in the UK are also experiencing that. The high inflation. And the US is going through a hellish situation. And the economic situation in the US is really faltering really bad. A lot of reports are going on. So yeah, and Prabhupada predicted it. Because of sinful activities, everyone is getting punished. So everything's falling apart. What they work so hard for becomes the source of their destruction. You elect the government to protect the people, and the government destroys the people. You get these farms together. Sri Devi might be happy to hear this. There's one young man, one family, they're in Pune. He's going to be moving to Mayapur. His name is Radhananda. And a wonderful wife and child. I spent some time with him in Pune. So he's very much interested in doing self-sufficiency farming in Mayapur. So I gave him your contact. And he'll contact you at a certain time once he gets settled in Mayapur. So.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Haribol, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Wonderful family. He lived in the United States for 17 years. Now he moved back to India. Now he's going to move into Mayapur soon. And he has a place right by the Jalangi Dam, which he's developing.
Oh, that's wonderful. One of the best places. He already has land over there?
He has the land, but he doesn't have any structures on it yet. All that's coming. I don't know his plan, but this is what he's doing.
Yeah. Look forward to this, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
My book, Krishna's Way, Natural Living. I mean, in 2 days I sold 46 copies. People were buying it like this.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah, your classes on Srimad Bhagavatam classes in Pune, they are very nice. You gave such a nice lecture on the controlling of mind. One day I heard that lecture. Yeah, you were the Prabhu was announcing about the books and availability. Yeah.
Yeah. So and more people are becoming fed up with this Western society. Prabhupada, I was listening to Prabhupada today, is that Kali Yuga progresses, 8 things become gradually deteriorated and finally gone. Bodily strength, longevity of life, memory, compassion towards others. What else? Can't remember. Oh yeah. Longevity of life. Kali Yuga is reducing all the good qualities, and things are just gravitating down. It's all in the 3rd chapter of the 12th canto. You can remember about 6 months ago, we did the 12th chapter. 12th canto, 3rd chapter. So Kali Yuga is going to attack more and more. And unless we are really working together in a communal way, to establish a lifestyle. Otherwise, we're going to be eaten up by this fallout that's coming. Devotees' spiritual life won't be affected, but they'll be put into a lot of material difficulties just to maintain themselves. And then finally, you have to move out of that situation. So I'm not a doomsday prophet. I'm just repeating what's in the Shastras and what is said by Srila Prabhupada. And he said, get these farm communities together. This is the future of the world, future of our society. And I think it was Sri Devi who sent me this video by Rameshwar. Is that yours? Yeah.
No, I sent Guru Maharaj. I posted. Yeah.
Yeah. That tells a lot. That little video, because he was there listening to Prabhupada when Prabhupada said all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for enlightening us about these things. Yes, Sridevi Mataji, you have any comment?
I just wanted to say, Guru Maharaj, your lectures on this topic have left such an indelible impression, and sharing that with others is resonating with so many devotees over here. After I gave that particular class in which I begged for your mercy and you said, remember Prabhupada, I did that. And I spoke about farm communities and what we really need to do now. One very senior Mataji, she's been here a long time, she told me this was the best class I've heard. Meaning on, because I spoke about farm communities and the urgent need of the hour. So it's really resonating with a lot of devotees, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for enlightening us so that we can speak about these things to others.
Yeah, we have to get into making practical plans. And the more we can show success by doing it, the more that'll inspire others to get on board and do it also.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, any last minute questions or comments?
Mm.
Yeah, Bhikkhu Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Pranam Maharaj, and please accept our humble obeisances. Firstly, I really sincerely wish you well in this auspicious month. And today we heard you. I think the idea is superb of farm communities. See here, if I take an example of life in UK, it has become very expensive, even for common men, to survive, because when you go to supermarkets, which people depend on to buy, and everything is mass produced, and the average consumer has no control. I think at Manor there is a move towards Vanprastha Sangha. And I think one of the things that elderly who are into their 60s, 70s could get together, because they have to depend on each other for support, but also live in a kind of community on a farm, which means jointly purchase something and develop. I think that may be coming, otherwise this is a vicious cycle. And what you commented is really the answer. But to get there is a matter of efforts and time.
Yeah, the transition stage is not clear to people how to do it. But the first step is to gather together a serious group of families who are willing to make the effort, 3 or 4 families, and then work from there. And then make your plans for transition. But to do it alone, 1 family or 2 families, is not going to work. We like to do something in Croatia too. And nice get a piece of land there. I think we have the land. We just need to gather the devotees together. And I don't know if the devotees are so attuned to that. I know we have Don Bentari here online, and he's done that kind of work before, and he's also got ideas for the future. So, and then we have Divya Prabandha, Savitri. We have at least 3 or 4 farms that are operating in Croatia, but they're not really developed to the point where there is a community there. It's just a few people struggling to make things happen, and that'll never sustain itself. It's too much. And you have to have enough time for your Krishna consciousness, and that's what these farm communities allow. That they allow for working less and getting whatever you need, and within a few months, and then living on that throughout the whole year. There's a lot of details, and there's a lot of different factors that depend on the environment, the culture, the area. But the foundation is community and a simple living environment. That's the general principle.
Thank you, Mara. It's a perfect guideline. It's a matter of putting something in practice, starting somewhere with a few people.
I've been watching India in the big cities now. I can't believe how people are living in these cities. It is just hellish, really hellish. But the Indian culture is so tolerant, and they're also very malleable. They can adapt to anything. That's the nature of the Indian culture, that they're always very, what they say, what's the word? Resilient. They know how to bounce back. They know how to adjust. That's their history. But it's so bad here that I don't know how much more adjusting can we get. Just like because of this pollution, starting in 2 days, cars that have license plates with the last number of an even number or an odd number, they travel only on that day. In other words, the even number cars are allowed to drive on that day, and if your license plate ends with an odd number car, you can't drive on that day, and if you get caught, you get a ticket and a fine. So they're trying to, this is like this piecemeal stuff that is never going to work. The whole lifestyle is just hellish. It's really hellish. And the traffic is unbelievable. How people drive. The roads are so full. Bikes, cars, cows, buffaloes, rickshaws, tangas. It's wild. So some of the plan makers think we just need to build some flyovers and will give us more room for the cars. But the population's increasing and the cars are increasing, so the solution will never come that way. Solution is to get away from this Western materialistic lifestyle. We're working hard, simply to get some paper money, which is useless, to buy a few things in the grocery store so you can go home and have something to eat and have a place to live. It's not really human life. It's survival of the fittest. That's all it is. And you mentioned you go to the stores now and the prices are going higher and higher. That's that. So yeah, Prabhupada predicted it, and he also gave us the solution. So communities.
Maharaj, Sukhava Mataji is asking, Guru Maharaj, who can help or guide to start farm community in UK?
No, let's talk to the devotees and see who's interested. I'm not sure exactly who's doing it there. You have, if you go to Sita Ram's place near, where is it? Near Leicester. He's got a really nice self-sufficient farm there. He's been developing it. It's not complete yet, but he'll probably give you a lot of ideas. Maybe also connect you with people. That's a nice project there. Sitaram near Leicester. I'm not sure. It's just south of Leicester. Yeah. I don't know what's going on in the UK somewhat. But there's a few devotees who have a piece of land doing something on their own. But if you really want to develop it, you need community, not just a few people or one family. That's not sustainable.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
You can contact Kalakanta, our minister for cow protection. He knows where all the projects are going on all around the world. So he's available.
Is he in UK, Guru Maharaj?
Kalakanta travels.
Okay.
He's always traveling, giving seminars, and giving talks, inspiring, having group conferences. He's quite active in these.
How do we contact him?
I don't know, just look him up. I don't have his contact, but look him up on the I don't know, maybe on the ISKCON who's who.
Okay.
Just Google his name, maybe you'll also get him. Probably on Facebook and some other of the social media stuff. Kalakanta, he's from, I think he's from one of the South American countries. There's a couple Kalakantas. There's one that's a Prabhupada disciple. He's in America, but that's not the one. He's minister, just look up Minister of Cow Protection for ISKCON.
Yeah. Silpesh Prabhu, you have any comments or questions?
Yes, I wanted to ask Maharaj, do you visit the Indian villages and how are they faring these days with farming?
I haven't been visiting, no. I'm not sure. I guess it depends on where you go in the state. I don't think you can have a homogeneous, but many of the villages, people are leaving the villages and going into the cities because they find village life too difficult to maintain. Tractors destroyed village life. The bull is the backbone of the workforce in village life. He's meant to work and carry loads, plow the fields. Lokanath Swami Maharaj did a video called Simple Village. That was quite a long time ago. Glorifying or showing the beauty of village life. But this Western civilization is pushing everyone out of it. They're trying to actually buy up farmland and use it for factory farming and big farming, and then control the food supply through these big farms, and pushing everybody into the cities to work. It's an attack on village life, especially in America. Farmers are really being attacked in America. So they struggle. But unless there's a spiritual foundation to community, it becomes very much, people will find it difficult to cooperate together, to work together in a cooperative way, because the center is not there. When the center in our communities is everyone's trying to become Krishna conscious. Everyone's trying to serve Krishna. That center has to be there. Otherwise, even the most ideal material arrangements will fall apart or actually become sources of many problems. Without Krishna, everything it's just, different egos clashing with each other. But everything has to be done under the guidance of leadership.
Sridevi Mataji, you have any question?
Yeah, I did want to ask Guru Maharaj, so the farmers leaving their villages, is it because they are hoping to have a glitzy city life, or the farming is not working for them? What is the reason they're leaving their farms and going to the cities?
Well, it's different. You can see it in India. There was a big exodus of farmers years ago. Now I'm not sure, but they were saying that village life is not sustainable, and they were being influenced by Western materialistic civilization. Why work so hard and you can just get some money and buy whatever you need? But our idea is, why work for money and then buy? Just establish your own with a lifestyle that is supportive. That's all. They fall victim to Western propaganda.
Wow. So
It's a conscious effort to destroy farms around the world, especially in them. Did you know? I'll give you. This is something that you can find out. It's documented, but it's not on the main news. This is in America. 93 food warehouses burnt down in 1 week. 93 gigantic warehouses that stocked food, different types of food, were destroyed in 1 week. It's being done purposely to cause a shortage, and raise prices and push people outside of that environment, and so they can control it. That's coming from the demoniac leadership in America. which is quite powerful. I could show you the video. These are films showing these different places burning down. Some of them were on the news. When people ask, how is it 93 happened in 1 week? You know, the only answer was no answer. But that's a whole nother thing. But, you know, if you look at the whole mess in the world today, it's really due to people's sinful activities. And people are getting the reactions. And Kali's moving in to kind of encourage people to become more sinful. Because when you try to solve a material problem with another material solution, you create another material problem. The only solution is Krishna consciousness. Because Krishna consciousness is the purpose of human life and not successful material arrangements, which are always subject to time anyway, so they're never actually successful. Things come and go. That's the way it is material life. Krishna consciousness is something that doesn't go. It just grows. So our business is to awaken people up to Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada's idea for establishing an environment which is conducive for Krishna consciousness based on the futility of the Western civilization and the practicality of a simple lifestyle is these farm communities, which was the history of the world anyway. This Western materialistic technological society is only 300 years old at most. People didn't live like that before that, and somehow they got along, they went there. So now the duration of life is dwindling. The highest people are dying from cancer, mental illness, anxiety, frustration. It's really heavy. And they don't have any alternative. They don't know what to do. They're just trying to fix the problem. The more they try to fix it, the more they're going to create more problems. You can't fix it. All you can do is get out of it. So, of course, we can be Krishna conscious in any material situation, but Prabhupada gave us a clear that this simple lifestyle is much more conducive to the execution of devotional service. Because simplicity and Krishna consciousness are synonymous.
Yeah. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Dear devotees, any last minute questions or comments? If not, I want to announce for tomorrow's class, Maharaj. Tomorrow's class is with Bhakti Sangha group, Charlotte devotees, and the verse number is 7th canto, 2nd chapter, verse number 13. And the time is 20 minutes later than our regular time, 12:20 p.m. UK time. And it will be 5:50 p.m. for India time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's supposed to be Kasi too, right?
Yes. Yes. For us in US, it is today, Maharaj. For India, it is tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, so you're going, today's a Kasi for you. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, Maharaj.
Okay.
Thank you so much for the class. And Maharaj, today is Sukhava Mataji's birthday. Everyone are wishing her birthday. So I just want to mention her. Happy Krishna conscious birthday to you, Mataji. Hope Mataji is online.
Oh, yeah. She wrote me a letter
Yeah.
today. It's her birthday. So
Hare Krishna.
I'll send you a birthday present by email.
That'd be the best precious present I will have, Guru Maharaj. Thank you.
Try to figure out what I can send. I'll bake you a cake and send it to you.
Thank you so much. I will wait for it eagerly.
Happy Krishna conscious birthday, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Happy
Hare Krishna.
birthday. Thank you very much for today, class.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear devotees. So we'll all meet again tomorrow. Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you for your time.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Gurudeva ki jai.
His Holiness
Swami-
Chandramauli Maharaj ki jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you,
Thank you,
Maharaj.
Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. It was really powerful class today. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hare
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.